Something where we can reach more students is the goal here. So these are the people who are qualified to take the above level exams. So any student who scores in the top 25% on a state or national standardized exam is welcome to do this. State norms or local norms, we would encourage that. We want this to look like Baylor TIP, to look and reflect what Texas looks like as far as who our gifted students are in the state. So local norms would be much appreciated, but you can do state norms, national norms. It can be on any state or national national exam, excuse me. It's a Tuesday morning, y'all. And it does not have to be on the whole test. It can be on one subscale or one subtest. So if someone's gifted in math, they do not have to be gifted in something else, as we all know. Any students who are already identified as gifted and talented, they're welcome to do this. So that would be, you've already identified the students in your district, they qualify to take these above level courses or class assessments. And then finally, any student recommended by teachers, administrators, and or parents. So this is a very inclusive list of ways that students can qualify for this. And that's intentionally done. Other talent searches may look at the top 5% or top 10%. We are specifically looking at this because we want to get a broader group of students who have that potential but may not be showing it yet. So as I mentioned, that we are looking at the top 25% compared to other talent searches. We are really focusing on district partnerships. Other programs focus on having districts send out information to parents and then rely on parents to register students individually. We are really focusing on partnerships with you as a district, and it's no cost to the district, but this would be to increase participation and access to a program like this. And we also want to focus on helping students prepare for this. A lot of times they'll say, just take a above level test cold. We all know that, as you know, when you're asking a 7th grader to take an SAT type test or the SAT, that's pretty scary. Gifted students are used to being at the top, and they may then see things that they have never seen before and get very frustrated. So we offer free prep exams so they can see what they'll actually see on the test. And this is really to focus on that lack of equity in students not being prepared, haven't seen it before, helps boost their confidence, and really to help their performance. So the exams are skills based, they're not IQ based, and that's important. And we're also using multiple factors to identify potential. So it's not just an above level test to be part of the Baylor TIP programming. The testing process, I'm going to go over this very quickly. This is all on our website, and we can send this out if anyone would like that. We have 4 assessments that are available. The CRA, the College Readiness Assessment here, is the SAT-like test. And I will back up and pause and say, we decided to partner with Gnosis. Many of y'all may be aware of them and have worked with them with your district. They've been a test prep company here in Texas for 20 plus years. And we decided to partner with them and develop our own tests only because during the pandemic, the College Board and ACT were not allowing above level testing for students under age junior and senior in high school. So they've now reopened that back up, but this is why we went our own route and developed these tests. So this is similar to the SAT, 3 sections, math, reading, English, and 3 hours for this test. This would be a test that 7th graders would take. So typically high school juniors and seniors would take it. We're asking our 7th grader or gifted 7th graders or those with potential to take this test. You'll see at the bottom of the screen, very small here, is CRA 8-9. That's typically for students in 8th and 9th grade, and that would be for our 4th and 5th graders. So that's more like a PSAT. And you can see that's a little bit shorter, 2.5 hours or so. The other options are the IAR, the Indicator of Academic Readiness, which is more like an ACT. So you can see that the science section has been added. And so math, reading, English, and science, that's also about 3 hours. Again, traditionally, this would be for a junior or senior in high school, and we would be having our 7th graders take this. And then the IAR 8-9 at the bottom, typically for 8th and 9th graders, and that's going to be our 4th and 5th graders taking these assessments above level. This is removing that ceiling effect that we have on state and national tests that our kids are so used to, just scoring at the top. This lets us see where they really are and what they're doing. So the question that comes up from districts is which test and which grade levels? Do I have to do them all? What do I need to do? No. And I will give a caveat here. So because of the pandemic, we have some 6th graders who were unable to take this and participate in a talent search during that time. So for this year, we are allowing students in grades 4 through 6 to take the IAR 8-9 and or the CRA 8-9. So the ACT like test and the SAT like test, the PSAT, I would say. And then we're also allowing grades 7 through 9 to take the IAR and or the CRA. So if your district thinks this is something interesting, and you may say, well, this year we're going to start with 7th graders taking the test, and next year we might expand it to 4th and 5th. It's up to you, and it's up to, what's going to best fit your needs, meet your needs as a district. And I did put this in here that next school year, it will change back to the traditional talent search model, which is grades 4th and 5th and grade 7. So this is the year we're kind of adding a lot more opportunities for students to do this because they were not unable to do that during the pandemic. The cost, this is something that I know parents will ask and districts will always ask. If you were to share the parent letter that we wrote here at Baylor and sent out, and if you didn't get that, it is on our website. You can feel free to email me and I'll get you one. If they were to go to our website today, it would be $65 for a student to take an above level assessment and receive a score report. It's a very detailed score report with educational recommendations. So that's one way to do it. Now, we all understand that $65 may be a lot of money for many families, especially if you have more than one child. So that's why we're pushing this district registration option and having districts become Baylor TIP districts. What it does is immediately just drop it to $45 a student. Just by saying you're a Baylor TIP district. And what that means is you're willing to share information with parents and tell them about this opportunity for their students, and then do the registration on your end. So there's also a sliding scale based on volume. So if you have, it's up to, I think, 59 students, maybe 49 students, it's $45 a student. And as you move up to 99 students, it drops down to $40 and so on. So we have this sliding scale based on volume. So the more students who participate, the cheaper it is per assessment. And districts will also receive an aggregate score report of all the students who took it in your district. So that helps you as an administrator, coordinator, to see how your students are scoring, what they're doing well in, what they might need help in. And so that's very important to do that. I will say that districts have asked, because we're encouraging this district partnership, in that, there's no cost to you technically, but if you're doing registration, that might have credit card fees, if that's how you accept money from parents. If you want to open your schools on a Saturday for testing to allow more students to come, if it's not during the school day, you might want to, we are absolutely fine with districts raising this price on your end. We'd ask that you not go over $65, because of course they could just register directly with us. But if you needed to pay for proctors, or the credit card fees, or put that into the mix, you can raise the price, but we would not charge you more than $45 a student, and you typically less depending on how many students register. I'm going fast, y'all, but I just want to make sure we get through this. So what we're doing is offering a lot of flexible scheduling so to maximize the participation. So if you are interested in doing this, you can do it by campus or by the district, depends on you. We had a few districts do this in the soft launch this spring. And one of them, a larger district, did it by campus. So they tested students on each campus based on the schedule that the principal wanted to have that happen. It can be a school day or on a Saturday, depending on what works best for your district. And the only thing we say is that you need to have this done by February 28th in order for students to qualify to participate in the May recognition ceremony. So we will be recognizing those top scholars in May. And so everyone who participated in the soft launch, which was, where are we now? Spring 2022 through February 28th of 2023. So all those students will then be, we will look at those students and those scores to determine who are the top scholars for this year. We also offer accommodations based on IEPs and 504 plans. So that's very important. So if they need extended time, they need breaks, if they need oral accommodations, we are able to do that, which is really important. And I will say that even if as a district you decide not to do this, that you're going to send information home to parents, we still make accommodations based on that for parents. So we have two formats. One is online, and that's what most people have done. It's web-based. There's no app or special program to download. It does need to be whitelisted by the IT department. So we suggest that you have that done. One district, just a few computers didn't work for some reason. We couldn't figure that out, but there's been no other issues with that. The answers are submitted automatically for scoring. So once your students take this, they submit their answers, finish their test. We have been asked to delay reporting because we don't want anyone to suddenly have a classroom full of students saying, well, I scored this and I scored this, and what does this mean? And, we don't want that. So we can delay it depending on how long you'd like us to delay it. We can do hours or days. One district said, can you delay it a week? So to let us get together and figure out what to do. So we can do that on our end and make sure that you are not being bombarded with questions immediately. We've also put, just as a side note, on our website, a link to a video that discusses how to interpret the scores, which is good for parents, because a lot of times when students take an above level test, they're not going to be scoring at the level they are used to or accustomed to. They may not be in the 99th percentile like they're used to, and parents may suddenly ask, well, why are you scoring only in the only quote unquote in the 70th percentile or 80th percentile? What does that mean? So we have information to share that with parents. The second option is a traditional paper test. And what you would do is students would receive scantrons, and you would just scan them to a PDF and email them to us to score. You return your test booklets via UPS. It's a prepaid label, so no cost to you or the district. And of course, both versions have a proctor guide to let you know exactly what to say and do with this and your students. This is an example of a student report, just given the time. I am not going to go into this. I usually go, this 13 pages long. I wouldn't do that, but I will share real briefly. You get a very detailed score report for each student, as well as an aggregate report for the district. So this is a fake student, Jeremy Jones. He took the CRA, the College Readiness Assessment. So he was in 7th grade. And we can see here that, oops, didn't mean to do that, sorry. His math score, the range was 200 to 800. He got a 520 with the 50th percentile, and his verbal 610, 76th percentile. But we look down here at the college readiness benchmark scores, and that's what I want to focus on a lot of times with parents, is that this child as a 7th grader is scoring a 520 on the math, and the grade 12 college readiness benchmark score is a 530. So this child is doing great. So, and explaining that that 50th percentile does not mean they're failing. We need to point that out. This is really good. And then also his verbal score, he's doing fantastic. 610 already, and the benchmark score for grade 12 students is 480. So this child is doing great. The score report breaks it down by math, reading, verbal sections, and goes into everything that the students got correct, incorrect. It drills down to what exactly they're missing. And so this helps you and parents understand where students are, and what their strengths are. In addition, on the student report, we have educational recommendations. So, based on this score, this is what we recommend you do. And so parents can take advantage of that, or school districts can also take advantage of that. So, in addition, we do have a short student survey at the beginning of each assessment, and this is used to really help us get more information about students. We don't want to base it on one test score, because we all know that that's not what we want to do in gifted ed. We want to see the student as a whole person and see what they have, where their strengths are. So this student survey was developed for them to show us various aspects of their thinking, and all of the items do relate to or correlate to academic achievement. So that's just a brief thing. So here's how you qualify as a Baylor Scholar. I know people, that's the question that people want to know is, so how do I become a Baylor Scholar? And so I want you to notice that in yellow, we have recognition ceremonies. These are the students, and you'll see in a second, they're the ones who will be invited to come to Baylor each May based on their scores. But we're also hoping that districts will also do a big deal in their own home schools and district to recognize these academic achievements, because this is a very big deal to be asked to take an above level test and even do that. So for grades 4 to 6, remember this year we're doing 4 through 6. A participant is someone who tested, they met the minimum qualification, and they're great. That is the student who will be, hopefully, they will not be invited to Baylor for the recognition ceremony, but the next two levels, the rising star and the top performer, rising star being scoring in the top 50th percentile, and those top performers score in this top 25 percentile of participants. And again, these are participants who did the soft launch in spring 2022 through spring 2023, February 28th. So we want to make it a big deal. We can send you swag as a Baylor TIP district. We can you want to honor these students for even being part of this, all three groups of them, even though only two of them would be invited to Baylor for the recognition ceremony. For grades 7 through 9, we have 4 categories. Again, participant, the scholars in the top 50th percentile, the green scholars, top 25 percentile, and then the gold scholars are top 10 percentile. And I had a district recently ask me, can I have the cutoff scores? We just want to see those. And we don't know those because we don't have all the data yet. So until February 28th, when I see all of the students who have participated, that's when I'll know who the top 50th percentile is, top 25%, et cetera. So, and we don't really want to have a cutoff score. As we know in gifted ed, you're not just, let's pretend you got a 119, but oops, you needed a 120 to be in the gifted program. That's not what we want to do, and definitely don't want to do this for a talent search, because this is a talent development model that we are doing here. So finally, the so what, and what does this do? Why do we even do this? Sorry, I'm looking at my timer and make sure I'm not going over time. Participating in Baylor TIP program. So what does this look like? There's 2 parts to a talent search, the identification piece and then the program piece. And this is the program piece. Talent development model obviously involves above level testing. And the focus is we are modifying learning based on what the students' abilities are. So we know where their strengths are and what we can do to modify that. So this is where we come in at Baylor, specifically is the beyond school learning opportunities. And, in the Texas state plan, districts have that service design standard, talking about out of school programs. So this is one way to meet that standard, which we're making sure we're doing. And the fourth aspect of talent development does involve guidance for educational and career planning. So really that college and career readiness, and what do I do to become um, an engineer or a scientist. Students know what they want to do sometimes, but they have no clue how to get there. So that's our job to help that. And so what Baylor is going to offer, we've offered programs for 39 years here, and we are changing them this next upcoming summer, beginning in 2023, and offering these progressive learning opportunities and more of a talent development model. So the first level would be students, and based on how students score is how they'll be invited to participate in these level of courses. So exploration, these are courses that would be matched to students' interests as well as their skills. So they may not even realize that they have an interest in engineering until they take a class on robotics or something like that. So we want to make sure that that's a entry level course. You can, just interested in it, and start developing those skills. Competency level courses, we're moving to the next level. It's more accelerated. We're really focusing on the specific domain that we're looking at. I'll talk about the domains we're going to focus on at Baylor TIP in just a few minutes. And so those would be those level classes. And then we have the expertise level classes, which are for students who are highly capable and scoring in the top 10 percentile and above, so very advanced. And as Monica mentioned earlier, professional level work, we're wanting to focus on that and have students work with Baylor professors, Baylor graduate students, people in the field that they're interested in, and really understand this is what it takes to become an expert in the field. The end goal would be eminence, and we know not everyone can become eminent. There are very few people who actually become eminent in the field, but that would be the end goal. Let us see where we can take you and what you are producing at that level. So in the next 2 to 5 years, and I have to keep reminding myself, and Hannah is always there to say, it's okay. That can't be done in 1 year. Duke Tip was around for almost 40 years. We have CTYs around almost 40 years, and Northwestern's done it for about 38 years. So our goal is to really recognize and develop exceptional talent, and looking at students who demonstrate aptitude and the potential. So let's go back to that state definition, or the definition, national definition too, is do they have the potential to do this? And yes, we think that with the way we're opening this up for students and allowing so many students to participate in it at the beginning, that we will catch students who may not have been showing that in our schools. So the 5 domains that we focus on are STEM, humanities, arts, social sciences, and business. And then you can see in that wheel, these are what let me move you all over. These are what's coming. So summer programs, Baylor's done that for 39 years. It's called University for Young People. We are changing that up, but that is for students in grades 1 through 12. And it will become more of the talent development model, like I mentioned earlier, where they have various courses that they can take part in. We're bringing back Super Saturday programs, both virtually and in person. And next year, we decided not to do it this fall, just due to the rollout of Baylor TIP. Baylor TIP online courses. We're focused on 15-week courses that would be offered to students. So let's pretend a student in 7th grade needs an Algebra 2 course, and they don't have access to it at the district level, or what have you. And so they could take a course through us and receive high school credit, or credit based on districts guidelines, if they allow that or not. I also want to mention that Baylor does have a Baylor Accelerate program, and that is for high school students to earn college credit. And I met with them a few weeks ago, and I'm meeting with them actually right after this meeting again. And they said, do you think that Baylor TIP students would be interested in participating in Baylor Accelerate if we gave them scholarships? And I said, why, yes, I think so, because Baylor's expensive. And I think any parent would be very excited if their student qualified for this to take a free Baylor course for credit, for college credit. So do know that's in the works. We're also developing a college and career conference for students and parents and educators that will happen each fall, each October. So help students like meet professionals in various fields, see what it takes to get to that field. Let's just let them explore those areas, and then let teachers and parents or educators and parents do a strand of, what does it take? What do I need to do to be preparing for college? What do I need to do for financial aid, et cetera? So to have that, we're also focusing on Baylor TIP academic competitions for students in grades 4 through 12. And finally, Baylor TIP Abroad. Selfishly, I think those of us here at Baylor, and some of y'all know Todd Kettler, he works here as well. And so we said, we think we need a Baylor TIP Abroad. So that's what we're focused on as well. But that does not preclude domestic trips too, whether it's going to Silicon Valley or DC or even down to Corpus, for marine science. So that's the plan over the next 2 to 5 years. We'll slowly roll those out. We'll keep you updated. And here's our information. Email is baylortip@baylor.edu. Website baylor.edu/tip. That has more information. And then you can reach me here. Not there. That's my website. The email, baylortip@baylor.edu, is an easy way to reach us. And if you want to set up a one-on-one with me to discuss this further, or I do offer Zoom meetings for districts and parents, and I'm going to be adding more of those for October and November. So thank you. I know it was fast. Thank you, Monica, for the time and letting us share. And we're super excited about helping meet the needs of gifted students in Texas. So thank you.
All right. Thank you, Jenny. Appreciate you taking the time to join us and to share. And hopefully some of you will take that opportunity to share it out with your parents, and think about, I know a lot of parents are missing TIP, because I get those questions every now and then. It's like, okay, there's an option out there. So before we move on, as we move to the next phase, our Q&A time. Are there any questions? Questions for me, questions for Jenny, as we go into it? You can come off mute, you can drop it in the chat. All right, thank you. All right, while you're contemplating, I'm gonna move to the next phase. Some of you asked, and I created a folder. Actually, it's a Teams. We here at Agency use Teams. We can invite guests. Hopefully this works. If it doesn't, let me know, email me. But this is a GT coordinator folder for us, and so grab the link, and then you can drop it into hopefully it'll invite you into our folder, and I will make sure you become a member. And this is where we can kind of house some certain things and other pieces of information. So feel free to try it. And any shout outs, happenings that you want to announce, good things going on. The 4th, no, actually it was September. Yeah, the 27th to be posted today. And if there's any questions on that update, let me know. But I see no hands. See nothing in the chat. Okay. If you need to get the announcements, just a reminder, go to our TA website up underneath on the main page. Underneath the search bar is like sign up for updates. That's where you can sign up so they get talented. Also, I would recommend signing up for advanced academics because I know a lot of you are doing both. Use your own login. If it's making you log in for a TA login, just use your own information and then it will happen. If not, let me know and I will try something different because you're logging in as a guest. Okay, we'll try something else. All right. All right. Good to know. Thank you. I'll work it out. But if not, email me and I will send you an email link by that fact. So yeah. Okay. So we'll do it that way. So just email me and I will make sure I have your correct email and you should get an email link that way. All right. And something cute. All right. So here's my contact information for those who do not have it, but most of you know how to reach out to me. Yeah, sometimes it does have a conflict with Teams if you're already using a Teams account. All right, so, but thank you for those who are out there. Any questions? And then we'll work out the issues with the shared folder, but yeah, shoot me an email or just actually, you could also just drop your email into the chat. I will grab it from there. And if not, we are done for today. If there are no questions, no wonderings, yeah, drop your email. Marvelous. So we are actually done. I did remember to hit record during the opening of Jenny Baylor TIP. So you didn't get the opening, but you got most of it. Okay. I'm gonna give you a couple of minutes to finish dropping in the chat. And then if not, have a great day, have a great weekend, enjoy your time, enjoy this weather. Get out and get some fresh air. And hopefully all is well in your districts. So thank you for joining me today. And I'll see you next time. Oh, got a question that came up. Bye, Amy. Yes. Okay. Can you clarify something? Does the LEA school board need annual training for GT? So your school board does not need annual training. It might be you having a direct, you need your members are to be trained. But then it's more of, are you giving them an update every year? The official training, I would not say every year. But it might be an update on your program. It might be just general information on what's going on. And so, yeah. Hope that clears that one. All right, so. All right, so thank you, everyone. I think we got everyone kind of dropped me some mostly new members' thoughts. So if you have a new school board, I would probably say, especially if you know I would say give them some kind of training. And one, just by the fact that they are accountable for your program and those are your advocates. And one is either just really, if you can't get on the agenda for a full board training, make them aware that there are trainings available either through TASB has training when they have their midwinter conference, TASBO have training, your ESCs have an hour-long training that they can provide them. So those pieces out there. But with you, if you want to get on their agenda to talk about your program, you might not have an hour long to go through a whole workshop training, or you have, just maybe 30 minutes, like, to get into, this is what our program, this is how we serve kids, this is what we're looking to do, this is how we use our funding, and this is how we are accountable, and make sure they have a copy of the state plan. And what is some of your goals on compliance and how to get there? So you can get their support and to get their acknowledgement of what are you doing and how are you doing it. And sometimes that's enough right there. And then to also let them know, kind of, you're going to have some of those parents who are always going to take that level to a grievance, and it's going to go maybe to the school board. What is so they are in the know, and I will put it that way of, this is our process. They may not, and I'm still going to put it this way. They may not need to know your whole testing process, but you have a process and how well your process works. What are, not the names of your measures, but you're using these multiple measures to do the testing. This is how we communicated with parents. This is how we, let them know this is what students are expected to do. So they are knowledgeable enough to make the right decision or informed decisions when parents do come with their complaints or their grievance about the process. Or if when you come back to say, we need to update this or change that, they're not in this, it's like, where did this come from? So really just making sure they know what's going on in your program and how things are rolling. So I hope that answered that question. All right. I think I see no more in the chat. And so that means we're about to walk away. Hope everyone have a great day. I appreciate you and all that you're doing out there to support our gifted and talented students. And till next time, bye everyone.